Welcome to a series that has become called He Trains My Hands for War. And what we're doing in this series is we're going through the book of Joshua, which is literally a biblical blueprint on how to be in the army of God and survive and be effective, not just spiritually, but physically as well. But also, as I'm going through this book, verse by verse, this will take probably 3 to 4 years to get completely through this book. I'm also making major life changes in my life. So as an over 50-year-old man, I can now plan on being strong when I'm 60 and stronger when I'm 70. That way, as I grow old, I'm prepared for a time of trouble, or at the very minimum, able to defend myself and my family. So I'm going through a lot of things. One of those things is I started a jiu-jitsu class. After just a few classes, what I've learned is that it's pretty hardcore. The last class I literally we were on the ground, what they call rolling. Essentially, you're just fighting somebody. And it's exhausting to do that. And I literally, after an hour of working out leading up to that, I had to stand up and go throw up. It was just, but I'm pushing myself to limits, and I'm seeing major changes in my life because we're in like week 10 of this. So I encourage you to join me in this journey. Push yourself physically as well as you're pushing yourself spiritually. So with that being said, we just spent the last several episodes going through really kind of what took place leading up to the Israelites preparing for this thing, preparing for the thing that their parents were terrified of. But they're going into it confidently knowing that they are on the army of the living God and they have nothing to worry about. Be strong and of good courage because God is always with them wherever they go. So we're just going to pick it up where we left off in Joshua 1, starting verse 10. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the camp and command the people, saying, prepare provisions for yourselves, for within 3 days you will cross over this Jordan to go and to possess the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess. And to the Reubenites and the Gadites and half the tribe of Manasseh, Joshua spoke, saying, remember the word which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God has given you rest and has given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your livestock shall remain in the land which Moses gave you on this side of the Jordan, but you shall pass before your brethren armed, all your mighty men of your valor, and help them, until the Lord has given your brethren rest as he has given you, and they also have taken possession of the land which the Lord your God is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses the Lord's servant gave you on this side of the Jordan towards the sunrise. Now, this is a fascinating thing that a lot of people don't understand what's taking place here, and this is very significant. Because the Reubenites and the Gadites and the tribe of Manasseh, they were given the land on the current side of the Jordan River that they are on. They were given this land, and they weren't going to cross. They're saying, no, we don't want to go across there. We want to stay here. They also possessed some of the more elite military that there was in the tribes of Israel. Remember the word which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God has given you rest and has given you this land. Now, ultimately, what the deal was these tribes would take some time. They would build fortresses and cities on that side of the Jordan. And now that is complete. So their wives and their livestock can stay over here safely, while the men, the fighting force, then cross the Jordan with their brethren. And they will continue to fight with them until they possess that land. Now, this is a big deal because what you're seeing here is you're seeing major tribes of Israel not wanting to go with them across the Jordan. They're like, this is our land. We're going to stay here. But the deal was, and they stuck with the deal, was that they would go help them fight. Now, why is this a big deal in our own lives? Because sometimes we don't necessarily have to have the same goal in mind to be with other people and to work with other people. And this is kind of something that most Christians, really most religious people in the world, really struggle with. They really struggle with this idea that, unless you're just with me in everything, then get out. And we don't want to be part of what you're a part of because you're something different than we are. If that was the deal, if they said, hey, we're going to stay over here, and Joshua was like, you know what, we don't want your help anyway, it would be disastrous. Now, God's always in it, so they're going to have victory, but it would have been disastrous more for the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the tribes of Manasseh, because they wouldn't have been blessed by God, and they knew that as well. And the funny thing about religions, particularly the Christian religions, is oftentimes we do, if they're not with us 100%, they're against us. And this is a fatal flaw of the Christian church. This is why there really isn't a church, because what is the church? Are the Baptists the church? Surely not. Are the Catholics the church? Surely not. Are the Presbyterians the church? No, they're not. Like, who is actually the church? Because if you go to any of those churches, what they're going to tell you is, well, we're the church and everybody else is not the church. All these churches that are in this town, they're against us and we're against them. It's appalling, it's wicked, and one might argue demonic. If Christian churches united around advancing the kingdom of heaven through the blood of Jesus Christ, imagine how powerful the church could be. But they're not. They're not. They're just their own little selfish selves. They're going to do, I'm in this town, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And what I'm really wanting to do is I'm wanting to grow my congregation. I'd prefer to yours shrink while mine grow. I definitely want to make sure I got enough money to live a healthy lifestyle and pay all the bills and pay the secretaries and all that. That's what it's about. And they're failing as a result. What we see here with Joshua and the tribes of Israel is we have three different groups of men and women and just, we're talking tens of thousands of people, all saying, our goal is that we succeed on this side of the river. Your goal is that you succeed on that side of the river. But if you're going to succeed on that side of the river, you got a lot of fighting to be done. We've already done our fighting on this side of the river. We already possess this land. I don't see any church crossing that river with another church. I really don't. I can't see any church seeing another church, even in the same town, and seeing them struggling and seeing them about to go fight up against something huge and them fight with them. I've never heard of that before in my life. Have you? And this is why the Christian church is failing. They're all individualistic. They just care about self. I care about what's in these four walls and these four walls only. Take a great lesson from these warriors who are about to face the thing that their parents were terrified of. Their parents were so afraid of this thing that they actually wanted to go back into slavery rather than face that thing. And here they're walking into it, and three tribes are saying, you know what? We have no interest in anything on that side of the river other than we're in the army of the living God and you're in the army of the living God. So we will fortify ourselves, and then we're in it to win it with you, my brethren. I've never even heard of such a thing. It almost makes me angry saying it out loud. And here's their response to this, by the way. Here's their response. And they answered Joshua, saying, all that you command us, we will do, and wherever you send us, we will go. Just as we heeded Moses in all things, so we will heed you. Only the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. Oh, and by the way, this last little piece, whoever rebels against your command and does not heed your words and all that you command him shall be put to death. Only be strong and have good courage. They literally spoke the same thing that God spoke, confidently saying, be strong and have good courage. We will be with you till the end, and whatever you command us, we will obey. I know you haven't ever, you might have seen a church help another church. Like maybe they just need a little help. We'll throw them $100 or something. Maybe we'll send over 6 people to help them clean one day. Like you might have seen that. But all that you command until your victory is your victory, and then we'll return to our thing. That's amazing. It's the only way you will succeed in the army of the living God. And this is why all these churches are failing, and they will fail in the end. You know, some will sustain because you know what? They're going to be fed and they're going to be fed, but they're by themselves. When a time of tribulation comes, you don't want to be by yourself, and that's when they'll fail. You know, they'll succeed in the meantime, but when a time of tribulation comes, and it will come, they will fail because they only care about what's inside those 4 walls. It's very, very important we begin to work with other people, even if they have a different agenda. So I hope this video helps. Any thoughts or insight on any of this, definitely put it in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. The most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.